If you feel tired all the time, struggle to focus, or rely on coffee just to get through the day, one of these 7 daily habits might be draining your energy without you even realizing it. The problem is that most people think fatigue comes from not sleeping enough. But in reality, energy levels are controlled by dozens of biological systems inside the body. Your hormones, your nutrition, your brain chemistry, and your daily habits all play a major role. And the truth is, many of the things modern men do every day are quietly sabotaging their energy. The good news is that most of these habits are easy to fix once you understand them. So in this video, we're going to break down 7 habits that destroy your energy every single day, and how to start reversing them. Let's start with the first one. Habit number 1 is checking your phone immediately after waking. For many people, the first thing they do every morning is grab their phone to check notifications, messages, social media, or emails. It feels harmless, but from a biological perspective, this habit can completely disrupt your brain's natural morning rhythm. When you wake up, your brain is in a very specific neurological state. Your cortisol levels are naturally rising to help wake you up, and your brain is transitioning from sleep cycles into full alertness. But when you immediately expose your brain to highly stimulating digital content, something important happens. Your dopamine system gets hit with a sudden spike. Every notification, every scroll, and every new piece of information creates small dopamine bursts. Over time, this trains your brain to seek stimulation immediately after waking. Instead of easing into the day with natural alertness, your brain becomes dependent on digital stimulation. And ironically, this can make you feel more mentally exhausted later in the day. A much better alternative is to give your brain 20 to 30 minutes of low stimulation after waking. Hydrate your body, move a little, get some sunlight, and allow your brain to wake up naturally before exposing it to screens. This small change alone can dramatically improve your morning energy and mental clarity. Habit number 2 is skipping protein in the morning. Another common habit that quietly drains energy is starting the day without enough protein. Many people eat breakfasts that are mostly carbohydrates, such as cereal, toast, pastries, or sugary coffee drinks. These foods cause a rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash a few hours later. That mid-morning crash many people feel around 10 or 11 a.m. is often simply the result of unstable blood sugar levels. Protein plays a very different role in the body. It slows digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, and provides amino acids that the brain uses to produce important neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters, like dopamine and norepinephrine, are essential for focus, motivation, and alertness. Without enough protein early in the day, your brain simply doesn't have the building blocks it needs to perform at its best. A good morning meal might include foods like eggs, Greek yogurt, protein-rich smoothies, or other whole foods that provide a solid protein base. You don't need an extreme diet, but ensuring your breakfast includes meaningful protein can make a major difference in your daily energy levels. Habit number 3 is consuming too much caffeine. Coffee is one of the most widely used substances in the world, and in moderate amounts, caffeine can actually be useful. It can increase alertness, improve reaction time, and temporarily reduce fatigue. However, many people rely on caffeine far too heavily. The problem is that caffeine doesn't actually create energy. Instead, it works by blocking adenosine, a chemical in the brain that builds up throughout the day and makes you feel sleepy. When caffeine blocks adenosine, you feel more awake, but the underlying fatigue is still there. Think of caffeine like temporarily covering the warning light on your car's dashboard instead of fixing the engine. Over time, excessive caffeine intake can create a cycle of dependency. Poor sleep leads to more caffeine leads to worse sleep, and the cycle continues. Another issue is timing. Caffeine stays in your system much longer than most people realize, 6 to 8 hours for half of the caffeine to leave the body. This means that drinking coffee late in the afternoon can still affect your sleep at night. A simple strategy is to limit caffeine intake to the earlier part of the day, ideally before mid-afternoon, so you can benefit from its stimulating effects without damaging your sleep. Habit number 4 is relying heavily on ultra-processed foods. Modern diets contain more ultra-processed foods than ever before. These foods are designed to be convenient, cheap, and extremely palatable, but nutritionally many of them are incredibly poor. Ultra-processed foods are often high in refined sugars, industrial seed oils, artificial additives, and low-quality carbohydrates, while being low in fiber, micronutrients, healthy fats, and essential minerals. This combination can create rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar levels. But that's not the only problem. Many ultra-processed foods also promote chronic low-grade inflammation in the body. Inflammation doesn't just affect physical health, it also affects the brain. Studies have linked inflammatory diets with fatigue, brain fog, poor mood, and reduced cognitive performance. In contrast, whole foods, such as vegetables, fruits, eggs, fish, nuts, and minimally processed grains, provide the nutrients your body needs to produce energy efficiently. You don't have to eat perfectly, but gradually replacing ultra-processed foods with more whole foods can significantly improve long-term energy stability. Habit number 5 is not getting enough morning sunlight. One of the most powerful regulators of energy in the human body is the circadian rhythm, which is your internal biological clock controlling sleep, wakefulness, hormone release, and metabolism. One of the strongest signals that regulates this clock is sunlight. When sunlight enters your eyes in the morning, it sends signals to the brain that help set your circadian rhythm for the entire day. This process influences when you feel awake, when you feel tired, and when your body prepares for sleep. Without enough natural light exposure, this internal clock can become misaligned. And when that happens, people often experience low energy during the day, difficulty sleeping at night, and inconsistent sleep cycles. Even just 10 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight can have a powerful effect. Taking a short walk outside, standing on a balcony, or simply spending a few minutes outdoors can help synchronize your biology with the natural day-night cycle. When your circadian rhythm is functioning properly, energy levels often improve dramatically. Habit number 6 is poor hydration. Water might be one of the most overlooked factors in daily energy levels. Even mild dehydration can significantly affect both physical and mental performance. Research shows that losing as little as 2% of body water can reduce cognitive function. This can lead to fatigue, headaches, poor concentration, and slower reaction times. The challenge is that many people simply forget to drink water throughout the day and instead rely on beverages like coffee, soda, or energy drinks. While these drinks do contain fluids, they often also contain caffeine or sugar that can disrupt energy balance. A simple strategy is to start the day with a large glass of water right after waking up. Your body naturally loses fluids overnight through breathing and sweat, so rehydrating early helps restore fluid balance and supports metabolism. Carrying a water bottle during the day can also make it easier to maintain consistent hydration. Sometimes improving energy levels is as simple as drinking enough water. Habit number 7 is constant digital stimulation. The modern world bombards our brains with more information than ever before through notifications, social media feeds, videos, news, and messages. At first glance, this constant stimulation may seem harmless, but from a neurological perspective, it can be extremely draining. Every piece of digital content competes for your brain's attention, and attention is a limited resource. Constantly switching between tasks, apps, and notifications forces the brain to repeatedly reset its focus. This process consumes mental energy. Over time, this leads to something known as cognitive fatigue. You may notice it as difficulty concentrating, reduced motivation, or the feeling that your brain is simply overwhelmed. Creating periods of intentional mental quiet can help restore cognitive energy. This might include turning off non-essential notifications, taking breaks from screens, or scheduling periods of focused work without interruptions. Your brain performs best when it has time to concentrate deeply on one task at a time. The important thing to understand is that energy levels rarely depend on just one factor. They are usually the result of many daily habits interacting with each other, including sleep, nutrition, hydration, light exposure, stress levels, and digital habits. When several of these areas are out of balance, fatigue becomes almost inevitable. But the encouraging news is that even small improvements can create noticeable changes. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Sometimes fixing just 2 or 3 of these habits can significantly increase your energy and help you feel more focused, alert, and productive throughout the day.